Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss about quicksort recursion. In part 2 video of quicksort we discussed that how we can partition an array. So in this video we will see that how we can perform quicksort recursion. So in the previous video we discussed about the pivot selection, that we pick an element and mark it as pivot. The pivot can be any random element. It can be first element, last element, or any random element. Now based on what we choose as our pivot, we do the partitioning. We reorder the array such that all elements greater than pivot comes after the pivot. All elements smaller than pivot comes before the pivot. The elements equal to pivot can go on either side of the pivot. And once this partitioning is done, based on the reorder of the array, the pivot is actually at its correct sorted position. So this we already discussed in our previous video. So in this video we will be looking into the recursion part, where after partitioning the array, we perform these two steps, the pivot selection and partitioning, recursively on the subarray formed on the left side of the pivot, which has the smaller elements to pivot, and on the subarray formed on the right side of the pivot, which has the greater elements to pivot. So here about two steps we perform recursively on the left side of the pivot and on the right side of the pivot. So let's see at a high level how this recursion looks. So let's say we want to sort this array using quicksort. So here you can see that this is a small piece of code which does the sorting. It takes in an array and it takes in a range that from which index to which index we need to do the sorting. And here you can see that the first step we are doing is the partition step. And once we get the partition index, now we have two arrays. One is on the left side of the partition and one is on the right side of the partition. So we recursively call the sort method, which is the same method, from low to p-1, which is the left part, and from p+1 to high, which is the right part. And this happens recursively because the method is calling itself again and again. After the partition, we are actually rearranging the array in the partition method in such a way that the element present at the partition index, which is the position of our pivot, that element is correctly sorted and placed at its proper position. So with one partition we can get one element and place that element at its correct position such that that particular element is sorted. And we will keep on doing this recursion till low is less than high. So this is our base case. So at a high level, let's see how this recursion looks. In our next video, we will see the step-by-step demonstration of this quicksort algorithm. But for time being, we can just see at a high level that how this recursion looks like. So here at the start, we need to sort this complete array. So this will be our low and this will be our high. Now low is less than high. We call the partition method. So in the partition method, we take the last element as our pivot, like this. So 3 is our pivot. Now after this partition method will end, we get the index of the element 3, that where it belongs. So in our previous video we saw that how we can perform this partition, and we took the same example. So in the first partition you will see that 3 comes at index 4, and in the partition the array is rearranged in such a way that all the elements lesser than pivot comes in the left side, all the elements greater than pivot comes on the right side. So here we are doing the logical division of the array and we are partitioning into two parts, left and right. So we are not breaking the array. It's just for the demonstration purpose that it looks like this. If you see the index from 0 to 3, we have smaller elements. From 5 to 8, we have elements greater than the pivot. So this is the pivot index. Now after we get the pivot index, if we sort this array directly, you will see that in the sorted array, 3 will be always at index 4. It means when we perform this partition, one of the element is sorted and it is placed at its correct position. So once it is placed at its correct position, we don't touch this element now. What we do is, we call the sort method on the left side recursively. So it goes deep down like this. And the range we took is low to p minus 1. So p is the pivot and this is p minus 1. So now we will call the sort by taking this left side, only these 4 elements. And this will happen recursively. Low should be less than high. This would be our base case. So here when this sort method will be executed for this left array, you can see that this sort method will be executed again. Low will be the same, but high will become p minus 1. So this would be our high. Low is less than high. Now we will again call partition method. We will pass in the array. We will pass in low and high. So now in the partition method, only these 4 elements will be reordered because we are providing the range of low and high in the partition. At the start, low and high were the complete range of the array from 0 to 8. Now this partition method will only partition 0 to 3. So in the partition method, we will first choose the pivot element, which we have discussed that we choose the last element. Now we need to do the reordering such that all the elements lesser than 1 should come on the one side and all elements greater than 1 should come on the other side. So here we will see that the partition method will reorder the array in such a way that it looks like this. This much part are the elements which are lesser than pivot and this much part are the elements which are greater than pivot, which is 1. But here we will see the index which we get is 2 because it returns the final position of the pivot. So index 2 will return. Here in the first partition index 4 was written. So based on this p minus 1, we took the left side of the array and we did the partition again. So now here if you see, if we sort this array completely, you will find that 3 is at 4th index, which is sorted. And after the second partition, 1 will be at 2nd index. So this element is also sorted. So now we don't touch 1. Here if you see, we again go on the left side from low. So this was our low and this is our p and this is our high. So we again call sort method from low to p minus 1, which is we are taking the left side of the array. So when this sort method will be called again, low will be at the same spot but high will become this spot. So it means now we are actually picking up this 2 elements and we are trying to sort them and we are trying to apply this logic. So this will be our low and this will be our high. Low is less than high. So it means we have 2 elements. So we can again do the partitioning of the array from low to high. So in the partition method, we will take the last element as our pivot. And now we will partition the array in such a way that all the elements lesser than minus 6 will go on the left side and all the elements greater than minus 6 will go on the right side. So this partition method will reorder only these 2 elements now because we are providing the ranges and it will touch the array into these ranges only. So it looks like this. So as there are no elements which are smaller than minus 6, so minus 6 will be the only element on the left side which is at index 0 and minus 3 is greater than minus 6, so this will lie on the right side. So friends, here you can see that now this is our low and this is our pivot index. So after we get the pivot index, we will again call sort on this one element. We will try to sort its left part from p minus 1. So p is at 0 index. If we do p minus 1, it will go minus 1. So here if you see, when we partition the array, pivot was at 0th index. It is the only element now. So on the left side of pivot, we have no elements. So if we call sort method again, passing in low as 0 and high as p minus 1, so it will take the value of the new high as minus 1. So here we will reach the base case and we will simply return from this method because low value is 0 and high value is minus 1. So therefore we can't further divide minus 6, and at whichever index minus 6 will be there, that will be the properly sorted position for the element minus 6. So now this method is done because when we call sort again, we will reach this base case and we will return. So this method will be done. So now this sort method will be executed and we go to the right side of the pivot. It means now we are taking in the elements which are greater than minus 6, which is the only element minus 3. So p plus 1 will be our new low. This will be our low and high will remain the same index. So here if you see, we will again encounter the base case. Low is actually equal to high. So it means we can't divide from low to high further down. So based on this base case, this sort method will end and the call will reach here again. And the sort method which we called from here, this will also get end. So minus 3 will be also at its correct sorted position. Like this. So here with these two sort methods, we are going in this direction and then we are going in this direction. So with this sort, we went to this direction. This is sorted. And with this sort, we went to this direction, which is sorted. So we will return back to the left side. And here you can see when we'll return back here, when we had called sort on this part, we went in this direction. And as we are returning back from here, so we will return from here like this. And now when these two elements are sorted, we will go in this direction to sort the greater elements to this pivot, because we are doing this algorithm recursively. So first the left side is done, and once that left side is done, we go on the right side. So this side is done completely here. Now we go on this side. So here 2 is the only element left. So this will be sorted because the base case will be fulfilled. For this element, low and high will be at the same spot because this is our p. And if we are going on the right side, we do p plus 1. So p plus 1 will be the index 3, which will be our low, and high is already at index 3. So this is sorted like this. So now execution point will reach back here. And here you can see left side is now properly done. So it will go back here. And now we perform the same steps recursively on the right side of the elements which are greater than 3, which is at index 4. So now we perform the same step on this right side. So if we are going on the right side, we are doing p plus 1. We are going on the right side. The low will be from p plus 1 to high. So this is p. This will be our low. And this will be our high. Because this high has not changed its value. So now we will partition it again based on what we saw here. So 6 will be the pivot. And now when we will partition it, it would look something like this. So 6 is properly sorted. Now we go on the left side first. So 5 is the only element left. So it will encounter the base case. This is our p and this is our low. So for the left side, if we do p minus 1 to take all the elements which are lesser than 6, this will become our high. And as high is equal to low, we will return from the recursion and phi will be at its correct position. So we go back like this and then we try to sort the right side. So we call the recursion again by taking p plus 1 to high. So this was high. like this, and if we do p plus 1, this will be our low now. So now we are actually partitioning two elements. So we take 9 as the pivot, we do the partition. So our pivot lies at the 8th index. There is only one element which is lesser than pivot, which is on the left side of the array, and there are no elements which are greater than pivot. So after the partition, at whichever position the pivot lies, this is the properly sorted position for element 9, and we are left with only one element. So we first go on the left side like this. We take from low to p minus 1, because if we do p minus 1, we'll get the left side range. So this will become our new high, and as this is the only element left, low is equal to high, so we can't divide or partition this piece of sub array further. So 8 will be also at its correct position like this. So if I remove everything, so here you can see that we are performing the recursion on this array recursively, and we are doing the partitioning, and with each partition one element is getting sorted and placed at its correct position. So if you try to combine all these indexes, you will see that if we sort this array, the array would look like, if I just plot it here, it will look like first minus 6, minus 3, then 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8 and 9. So if you see that this would be our finally sorted array, and if you see the indexes of all the elements from 0 to 8, you will see that at 0 we have minus 6 like this. At index 1 we have minus 3 sorted. Index 2 we have 1. At index 3 we have 2. Index 4 we have 3. At 5th index we have 5. 6th index 6. 7th index we have 8. And at the 8th index we have 9. So here you can see that how this recursion and this partitioning is helping us to perform the quicksort. So friends, here if you see, at the start we took complete array, we took a pivot, we did the partitioning, all the elements lesser than pivot were on this side and all the elements greater than pivot were on this side. Then we recursively took the left part, we took the pivot and we did the same steps like this. Then we took the left part again, we did the same steps, and finally we got minus 6 and minus 3 at 0 and 1 index, which are sorted. And after taking this left and right part and sorting them, this left part was done properly. Then we picked the right part of this pivot and this was sorted. And after we sorted this, all the elements were done for the first left subarray. Then we went to the right part and we did the same steps again. We first went on left, then we went on the right. We first went on the left, then we went on the right. And at the end, you see all the elements are at their proper indexes. So if we sort this array, you will get this array. So friend, this was all about the quicksort recursion. If you didn't understand any of the recursion logic here, in our next video, we are going to see the step-by-step demonstration of the quicksort algorithm. There it will make sense that how this recursion is happening, where this sort method is again calling this sort method 2 times. After partitioning, we go on the left side first and then we go on the right side. So we will understand this recursion in our next video with a detailed demonstration. I hope you must have liked this video. In case if you are new to my channel, then please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you never miss any update. Thanks, have a nice day.